grabbing my microphone really quickly. I completely forgot that it wasn't plugged in. Whew. If I can find it. I am currently enjoying a moment of quiet as my daughter is taking her nap, and I decided to take a ride, which felt pretty fantastic, but I can't find the receiver for this thing, unfortunately, so it might just be a quiet check-in. I wanted to make it so that you all could hear me even if I speak quietly. But what I won't want to do is wake up the child, because she's happily napping, and I just don't want to disturb her. She's had a really big week. Here we go. Found it. By the way, there's like, that's upside down. So about this, for those of you who are like trying to record audio, or you're doing like YouTube content yourselves, they have, and I'm not sponsored, but they have like a very full form version of this. It's like a full brick. It's kind of this size, of microphones made by Rode. And oh shoot, the receiver's not in here. That's my nightmare. Ooh, I hope she's not found it. So they have receivers to these microphones that plug in, and it basically is Bluetooth connected to your phone. And there's another version that you can plug into other audio interfaces other than your phone, which is really cool, but it's way more expensive. And if you're looking for a more low budget option and you don't have a dedicated separate camera anyway, then you might as well give this one a go. I'll sit at my desk and see if I can find the receiver. And if I can't, at least we can talk like this. So yeah, I don't know where the receiver is, which is a real bummer, because I would show you how it plugs. Well, I can't show you how it plugs in on the actual phone, I guess, so I guess it's no big deal, right? But yeah, I love it because you can totally do what you need to do with it, and you don't have to worry about whether or not there's like any special tech knowledge you have to have. It's just a plug and play situation, but the quality of the microphone is pretty solid. Like right now, I know you can hear me, but if you look at my other live videos, you'll hear me a lot more clearly, and that's thanks to this like lapel mic. I don't even use the windscreen because I'm usually inside, but I have it on there because I'm really not trying to lose any more pieces, especially since I really still have to find that receiver, especially before my daughter does, so pray for me, y'all. I'm trying to think where it could be, because I did a recording this morning, but I didn't record any audio, so I'm not sure where it would be. Anyway, this is the real life. This is the real chaos. I just wanted to come on because I felt very jazzed and energized after my ride today. I had a very pleasant ride, and I was thinking about my presence in this world, to myself, to my daughter, how I show up. And I was thinking about this content that I'm creating here. I'm obviously showing you all my postpartum transformation in real time, because I took my sweet time to get to where I am right now, and I'm ready to move to a different mindset. I'm no longer thinking about it in terms of, oh, lose baby weight. because that's just not what postpartum is to me. And instead, I'm really focusing my energy on becoming a version of myself that I'm really proud of, that I've worked hard for, that I get to live more gently and softly in. That is what I want to do. And it's funny because even after this ride, my voice feels softer. This isn't usually like the timbre of my voice, but that ride, I think, was just a reminder to go gently, that my body remembers better than my mind, and that my body feels despite evidence to the contrary in the world around me. And that's why I love bodies, because we can convince ourselves that things are okay so that they really can be. And I think that that's pretty miraculous, to be honest, that we can just say, oh, it's going to be okay. And if we believe that long enough in our bodies, then our chemical compositions change, and our perceptions and what we notice changes, and what we end up focusing on changes, and then what we really end up seeing in the material world is actually different. Whether that is recognizing, oh, I love my body and it's carried me this far and it's carried a whole person, and it's going to be different, but it's also going to be an amazing thing. And if I just don't stress out, I'll get closer to that version of me that I haven't met yet. And I can't wait to meet her. Like, we get to do that. And I don't know, I'm pretty jazzed about that idea. I'm pretty jazzed in general right now, just because the endorphins and kind of those feel-good hormones that are released while we work out and exercise, they're upped quite a bit once we hit that kind of sweet spot in our cardio exercise. And it takes a little while to come down, which is a nice bonus. Because you actually get to, I don't know, feel the full effects and appreciate the full effects. And there's just something very peaceful about that. Something that, I don't know, just intuitively feels right about that for me. I find it to be a state of deep self-appreciation that I find myself in. Yeah. Oh, boy, oh boy. Well, I suppose there's good news baked into this, which is because my daughter is asleep, if I find this thing before she gets up, it'll be just fine. And then I can just remind myself to put all of the audio things don't get lost, because small pieces are really dangerous and like not the wave. Definitely not the way that I want things to be. I want her to be in a place that's always safe for her in her developmental stage. So that means no small objects. So I will find it and it'll be just fine. And I guess that's kind of funny because in one version of the world, right, you could say, oh, you better find that, you better freak out, you better worry about this, because, like, what if she already ate it? The thing is, worrying wouldn't make her any healthier if she did eat it, right? Like, freaking out wouldn't make it less ingested. It wouldn't help emergency medical services help me to identify what to do next. No one would be able to understand me, which would prevent her from getting immediate and expeditious care. So, even though it can be stressful to be calm for others, to watch someone be calm, it's actually quite a gift to practice to be calm in the face of uncertainty. And I'm still working on that myself, really finding that place of uncertainty and going, this will be fine. And I'm also finding a place of comfort with not knowing in public, and with not being sure in the presence of others. Like looking for this with others watching, with others being able to see, is admitting it's lost, right? And admitting that reality is its own source of stress and strain in some ways, right? Because we want to have control over our environment and feel like, we're doing everything more or less the right way, that we have some level of command over our lives, that we are not making massive blunders every moment. And the truth is, massive or not, mistakes happen every day. I make them, right? I can take full responsibility for the errors that occur in my life, and I can live in the face of those still feeling worthy and valuable. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, and I don't always succeed at it, for sure. But I'm trying to give myself that space by practicing in public, by practicing on YouTube, where this is kind of going to live, right? There's going to be so much other content that's much more directed at other things that are quick hits of information. But this is going to be the enduring, I think, material for me, is watching myself grow. I've never done that before. I wasn't a journaler when I was younger. I wrote poetry. That was the closest I came to journaling. And I loved doing it. I think I might pick it up again because I do miss writing. But I definitely wasn't one to track how is everything going and what's changing in my life in a strategic or meaningful or collected way. I was never on top of it like that. Pancakes from this morning. And I kind of want to be. I kind of want to push myself to be, more the version of myself I thought I wasn't allowed to be, I want to feel pretty. I want to feel smart. I want to feel confident and put together, in my own way. I want to do those things with my personal truth being the guide. And I don't want to feel anything other than proud of myself for that. And I know that's a long road ahead of me to get there. But I'm actually really looking forward to it. Because I know it's a road that I will traverse. Like, I will travel to the end of that road and I will be me fully. And even though it feels like it's a long road, what that really means is I don't know how long it will take, but I know that each step that I take along that road is actually going to change me. In the musical Wicked, there's a song for good. And I wanted to sing the song at my middle school graduation, but I didn't know it. And I didn't get a chance to learn it before it was time to try out. So I just sang something random and it was really bad. And so people just assumed I couldn't sing. And it was the most hilarious and upsetting thing ever. I was upset because I felt like I put myself out there in this terrible way. Because I failed. Like, I did not get to sing the song and I never bothered to learn it, but it stuck with me. And then when I went through graduation, I was like, well, I still love that song. It's still beautiful. And I kind of moved on, and I didn't sing in front of anyone until later on in senior year of high school. And I joined up really late again. But this time, even though I didn't know the song, I knew how to sing the kind of song. And so they said, well, why don't you try out? And, there were some people who were in school with me in middle school who thought I couldn't sing. And I was very quiet about it. And I just got up and I sang the song. And I remember the room being completely quiet. No one clapped, but it wasn't because I sucked. It was because I didn't. Um, and I remember thinking, like, it wasn't that I didn't have a good voice. It wasn't that I didn't even know how to use it. It was that I was singing a song I didn't know. And no matter how good you are, no matter how much amazingness is inside of you, when you are first time postpartum, like, you're gonna suck at stuff. It's just gonna happen. I know that, we prepare, but if you're type A, high achiever, high performer, there are gonna be some things that you look back on and say, man, I really messed that up. I didn't get that. I wasn't on top of my shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you. It's normal and it's natural. And one of these days you are going to get up to sing a similar song. And you're going to know how to sing that kind of song because you tried it, because you put yourself out there. And as I'm looking at this transformative era in my life, being 15 months into this postpartum period, and as I think about my body, how it's shifting, what my internal thoughts are on myself and my mobility, my flexibility, all of that, I realized that I have no idea what it's all going to look like. But I do know that doing this is changing me because I'm looking at myself differently, not because I actually have something in me that's never been there. I'm just noticing it more. Being in the presence of my daughter, a person who's never been there before, is making me a person I've never known myself to be. And she's a person who has everything inside of her, like the kernel of a seed. But it hasn't been nurtured. It hasn't fully been nourished. It hasn't grown. So it's incumbent upon me as her carer to make sure that she has what she needs. And to learn that is to sometimes not have it all right together. Maybe she needs more structure than I know how to give. That's okay. You'll see that, and you'll see the outcome of me learning it. And I'll see that and the outcome of me learning it. And we'll learn together. And hopefully y'all will catch some of my mistakes and let me know before I make them. And hopefully I can share some of mine before you have the misfortune of having to experience them yourselves, right? But I think this experience of being on YouTube is going to be really interesting for all of us. Because there's so much that we can think about and use to develop ourselves. I think the business world has had the monopoly on personal development for way too long. And that people think it's out of their league or out of their depth. And I think neither of those are true things. I think it's out of the depth of most people in the business world, which is why they need that material. And I think it's being gatekept in some ways that are unintentional but harmful and unhelpful to our families. Largely because of the vestiges of misogyny, like the overt kind that kept women in home and in house, or femmes in home and in house. And we don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to gatekeep this knowledge, this information, and access. Yeah. I still haven't found that receiver, and I'm going to keep looking, but I'm gonna let us go into our respective corners, and I will be back tomorrow for our squat gains. And I'll be dropping a video of Peloton and motivation this week as well, so keep an eye out for that. And I'm considering moving to a 2 a week video drop. We'll see, but definitely can continue to do the everyday videos, and I'm just working on like that editing skill, so that the longer videos that are submitted for you all are at least like medium quality, right? I want you all to be able to enjoy them and to follow along. And so I'm working on creating some content that's a little bit more consumable, smaller bites, and that we go a little bit deeper rather than going so broad. So stay with me, and you'll see that too. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing you all real soon in the next one, but for now, no matter where you are, I hope you are happy, healthy, and whole. And I look forward to seeing you real soon in the next one. Bye.